I've got some chili, I've got some lime, I've got some ginger. Today we are making Thai beef salad. Hey everyone, welcome back to Pop Keto, where we're helping you live a sustainable keto and low carb lifestyle. Today we are making a delicious quick Thai beef salad. In the UK, we're in the middle of summer and it just seems like the right sort of meal to be doing because at this time of year, not everyone wants comfort food, but this is so tasty. We hope you've been enjoying our videos and a big thank you to everyone who's subscribed so far. If you haven't, you can, it's free. You can do it by clicking the subscribe button and do remember to give this video a like. Also, if you're not following us on socials, why not pop over to Instagram and look us up. We are popketo_. And if you cook any of our recipes, don't forget to tag us and we'd love to share your pictures on the channel here. All right, here we go. Thai salad. Now this is so good. So salads like this are really great for summer and they're also really good, really tasty, really nutritious. Now a lot of salads are known for being low fat rather than low carb. And don't get me wrong, there will be carbs in this. We're going to use some fresh veggies and there are carbs in there, but we are going to try to find ways to work in some fat where we can. Three main ways we're going to do that. We're going to use some nice fatty beef. We're going to put some good oils into the dressing, and we're also going to put a bit of avocado in there. So let's get into it. Now we're going to try and make this as easy as we can. So we're starting with a bag of mixed leaf salad. This is 120 grams. Boom, there's your base already done. Actually, what I should be working on now is the dressing, so we'll get into that. Now I like to save jars and use them for things like this. Putting dressings together in a jar like this is so easy, and if you have leftovers, easy to store in the fridge. So we're going to start by grating some ginger. So just peeling that real quick with a teaspoon. And we're just going to grate that down. We're after about 2 teaspoons of fresh grated ginger. And we're also going to grate a clove of garlic. Now you could have just as easily used a garlic crusher, but I had this out. Boom. All right, next we want about 1.5 tablespoons of fresh lime juice. I'm gonna put that straight into the jar. Now I've juiced 1 lime. I think I could use a bit more, so I'm gonna go another half, I reckon. Now Thai dishes often have a sweetness, a saltiness, a sourness, and a hotness to them. We've got the sour from the lime and the hot is coming. For the sweetness today, I'm going to use half a tablespoon of erythritol. Now if erythritol is not your thing, you could easily replace that with some xylitol or some stevia. Okay, next we have 1 tablespoon of fish sauce and making sure it is sugar-free. All right, so here's where we get to start adding some of our oils. I am adding 2 teaspoons of sesame oil. And then 1 teaspoon of soy sauce. Now we've used a gluten-free soy sauce here because often soy sauces will have wheat products in them and we want to minimize the carbs in this dish. Okay, well that's the dressing done. Just shake that up and we'll put that aside, letting that infuse. Okay, now we're going back to our salad. We're going to throw in a couple of tomatoes. Now with tomatoes, you might need to be mindful of the type of tomatoes you're getting. I once saw somebody ask the question, what are the lowest carb tomatoes? And the answer was green tomatoes. Now it's not really helpful, but it just shows you that the greener a tomato is, the less carb it will have. Tomatoes that you know to be really sweet, such as grape tomatoes or cherry tomatoes, will often have a higher sugar content, and you can tell that just by tasting it. So today we're just using plain salad tomatoes. We're going to chop them in quarters, cut off the little bit that nobody likes, and we'll cut them in half again, and then we'll cut them in half as well. And we just spread them through our salad. Okay, next we're going to add a little bit of cucumber. Give this a quick wash. Cut that straight down the middle. I'm just going to cut them into nice slices. And just spread them through our salad as well. That looks good to me. Right, next we're going to add a bit of oniony bite and we're going to use a couple of spring onions to do that. Just trimming off the edges. I'm going to use the whole onion, so that's including the green stalks and the white bits. Okay, I did cut up the 2 spring onions, but I've only ended up using 1 in this dish. I'm also just going to put a little bit of color in this dish with some capsicum. Just going to chop that into thin strips And again, we're just going to spread that through. Just adds a little bit of a visual something. Okay, now as I said, we've got another chance to add in some fat here using an avocado as part of the dish. So we'll just split it in half. And scoop it out. Like so. Best way to get the stone out is like that. Done. We'll scoop this side out as well. Boom. And we're just going to chop it through the middle. Make it into centimetre thick slices. And again, we're just going to spread that through our dish. Obviously, adding avocado, you also get that nice creaminess through the dish. So even though we don't have any mayonnaise or cream or cheese through the dish, it's still going to have that nice creamy texture. Now, a true Thai salad will definitely have chili in it. Now, our family, some people like chili, some people don't, so I'm just going to chop that up and put it on the side. All right, so with our chopping out of the way, we've got the salad prepared, we've got our dressing resting. Now, while I've been assembling the salad, I've had the steaks out coming to room temperature. Now, today I have 2 beef sirloin steaks. Now, these are not gonna take long to cook. What we're gonna do is get a nice sear on each side. We'll let it rest for a little bit, and then we'll cut it nice and thin. I have touched my lips after cutting the chili, and my lips are burning. All right, so we're heating up the frying pan. Now today, the cooking oil that we're going to use is beef dripping, sometimes known as tallow. It's basically beef fat. It has a higher oxidization points than a lot of other oils like olive oil or even other vegetable oils that you might use. And given that we're cooking beef with it, it just gives it an extra beefy flavor. So we are going to salt these very well. And we're just doing that right before we cook. I'll keep that there because we want it once we flip the steaks over again, we'll put more salt on the other side. Now, often when you're cooking a steak or something similar, it has a tendency to scrunch up. So what we're going to do is I've got a spatula here ready to hold it down as we put it in. All right, so here goes the steaks into the frying pan, and you can hear that's nice and hot. Boom, straight in. And we put salt on the other side. Turning that up a little bit. I'm still not used to cooking with an electric hot plate. I much prefer it on the gas. Definitely have better control. Now, as I said, I'm just using the spatula to hold down the beef and get a nice sear on it. Just checking that now. Not bad. Oh, that one's good. You can see that wants to curl up there, so that's the sort of thing that I'm holding down. All right, just going to turn that off now. I'm going to put that aside just for a minute to let it rest. We'll just cover that in foil to keep it warm. Now, the last thing we're going to do with the salad is just put some herbs on there because Thai food loves herbs. Here we have some fresh basil. If you can get Thai basil, that'd be perfect. I wasn't able to get Thai basil today, so I have just got plain basil, but it's still really good. We're just going to rip off some of the bigger ones. Between the smell of the steak and the smell of the basil, everything is happening now. Then also just some fresh coriander. So now we cut into cutting up the beef. Now we've already been letting it rest, so hopefully that'll help it tenderize. The other thing we're going to do is look at the way we cut it. Now, one of the factors that it comes to beef being tough when you eat it is that you're trying to bite through the grains of the muscle. So what we can do to try and minimize that, we can slice the beef across the grain, and that will also help it become quite tender as you're eating it. So let's have a look. A lot of liquids come out there, so we're actually going to put that in the salad as well. That fat has not rendered off the edge, so I'm going to just get rid of that. I know with keto we want the fat, but if it hasn't rendered and it's going to be tough and chewy, no one's going to enjoy that. All right, so on this steak, the grain is running from the bottom to the top. So what I'm going to do to reduce that is to cut it on an angle through the beef, and that will help it come out even more tender. So just with the knife on an angle, like so. Awesome. And similarly with the second steak, we're just cutting it on an angle as well. So you can see there, that beef is nice and flexible, so we can just pop it into the salad. see that lovely pinkness of that. That's cooked really nicely. And we'll garnish that with just a little more coriander and a couple of wedges of lime. And of course the dressing. And there you have it. That is a delicious and tasty beef salad. Put the chilies on if you like. As I said, I'm only holding them off because some people in our house don't like the chili so much, but that is a delicious summer meal. Looking forward to having a test of this. Got the beef, got some herbs, got some avocado. Oh, and I'll add a bit of chili.
Man, that is so good. Those chilies have got a bit of fire. Oh yeah, and it's so good. You've got the freshness of the herbs, the creaminess of the avocado, and the lime in that dressing is just awesome.
So we hope you've enjoyed that. If you have a go at cooking this, please put it up on Instagram and give us a tag. Again, we are popketo_. Like this video if you've liked the salad, and we'll see you next time. Bye.